let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Whoa. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughan Radio's Facebook Live and YouTube channels. Welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go. I am Zanelle Claxton from the Department of Education, and alongside my co-host,
DeAndre Daniel.
And DeAndre, we have a special guest today. We'll allow her to say good morning and introduce herself.
Good morning, my name is Ravina Persad.
All right. Okay, so as per usual, well, welcome back, DeAndre. I almost didn't remember to welcome you back. Welcome back. Last week I gave you several shout-outs, and everybody missed you, so welcome back. You're feeling a little better?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Okay, you're still on the road to recovery, but he didn't want to miss another day with us, and so we are so happy to have you back, DeAndre.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So it has been, as per usual, an eventful week, and we wanted to capture, before we got a chance to find out more about why Ravina is here, we wanted to capture some of the main things that happened this week, so that in case you weren't following or you didn't realize, we could keep you abreast of what's going on. And so this past Tuesday, we had the official handing over ceremony of a very substantial, a check in a very substantial amount. Now, the Lonnet Mills Charitable Fund, in association with the Nevis Association of South Florida, made a large donation to students here on the island of Nevis, students who were identified by their principals and guidance counselors as persons who might need extra assistance in terms of lunch and school through the school meals programs. And so this week we were able to have the official handing over ceremony for that check. Now the check is in the amount of $30,600. That is a lot of money. And so we want to say a heartfelt thank you at the top of the show to the Dr. Lonnet Mills Charitable Fund, as well as the members of the Nevis Association of South Florida. Now the funds will be going to 37 primary school students and 16 secondary school students, and they will be able to receive lunches. Their parents wouldn't have to pay for their lunch for the next 6 months. And so, as I said, that's a big deal, and we cannot overlook the investment of the Lonnet Mills, Dr. Lonnet Mills Charitable Fund and the Nevis Association of South Florida. And so we thought that right at the top of the show it would be important to highlight that contribution. In addition to that contribution, though, the Dr. Lonnet Mills Charitable Fund has also contributed to other areas at the Department and Ministry of Education, school level as well. And so recently she would have the foundation made a donation to the Glen Secondary School, and they were able to get some microwaves through the foundation. And then annually, we're able to also get sponsorship for the Spelling Bee. Our annual Spelling Bee is sponsored by that same foundation, and also sponsorship for our family book feud. So at the top of the show, we want to say kudos, commendations, and thank you to the Dr. Lonnet Mills Charitable Fund. And we also want to say thank you to the Nevis Association of South Florida for a job well done. And this shows that even though sometimes people migrate and move overseas, that they don't forget who they are, they don't forget where they came from. Now, these are people who grew up in Nevis, were able to do well on Nevis, and went overseas to pursue further education or for other purposes, and were able to do well overseas and are now giving back to the community. And so I want to use this opportunity as well to encourage other people who are living overseas and have access to various resources to remember all of our students, to remember our schools, to remember our island, so that we can continue to grow and see the benefits, not just of your donation, but of your investment. And so thank you, Dr. Lornette Mills, and thank you to all persons who are involved. All right, so we also had other activities. Of course, this time we're getting ready for exams. And so most of our students are involved in in studying, preparing for exams. A few are still finishing SBAs and IAs, but for most part, we've wrapped up because Monday, although it's a holiday, is the first official day of the CXC exams. So many students will be turning out for exams on Monday, and we wish them the very best as well. But in terms of at the school level, for most part, we were in preparation mode for exams. Also, some of the schools had their PTA meetings, and we want to encourage all parents to continue to attend and participate in the PTA meetings as well, so that you can keep abreast as to what's happening at your school level. We also have an announcement from the Department of Sports. The Department of Sports will this week have, we know about the summer camps, and we talked extensively about summer camps and the importance of summer camps. And so from May 27th, the camp registration process opens, and so we're looking for parents who have children who are interested in the various sports to contact the Department of Sports upstairs, the Reliable Motors Miniplex, and they will be able to guide you through that registration process so that you can keep your children engaged and active during the summer. I don't know if DeAndre will be doing tennis this year or golf. Those are usually some of the offerings. We usually have basketball, cricket, netball, and so all of those activities will be available during the summer. We'll have more information for you, but in case you're wondering, the 27th of May will mark the start of the camp registration process. The Department of Sports is kindly soliciting the support in the form of sponsorship from the private sector to assist with sending a team of athletes to Whitsuntide Games in Grenada from June 7th to 10th, 2019. Contributions will go towards airfare and accommodations, and persons interested in donating are asked to contact the Department of Sports. All right, so those are some of the things that are happening and will be happening. And then finally, this week marked the start of the opening of the application process for the prospective teachers course. And that means that if you're interested in being a teacher, you should contact the Department of Education. You should visit the Department of Education, collect your forms, have them completed, and the process ends on May 31st. So by the end of the month, we'll have to close off the process and, of course, go into the next phase, which is a selection of persons who meet the criteria. And the criteria is well outlined on the application packet. And then after that, we'll go into our training process, our initial training process, and start the ball rolling for September 2019 so that we can have our schools ready for all of our students. Okay, so if you are interested, even if you are currently writing exams, if you're in sixth form, if you know somebody who's in sixth form who might be interested in applying, please ask them to visit the Department of Education, Marion Heights, and collect their forms. Well, I think that this week would be a good week, and make sure you get them this week because you have to get them back to the department by the 31st of May, and there are several things required of you, so please ensure that you get your packets as soon as possible because we will not be able to accept packets after May 31st. All right, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to find out why Ms. Prasad is here with us this morning.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. always waiting. This storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page as well as the YouTube channel. Welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. And I'm here this morning with my co-host,
Deandra Daniel.
and also our special guest.
Ravina Prasad.
Okay, and so a few weeks ago, Vijay Harinarain, youth officer at the Department of Youth, was here with us, and he was here with the Remarkable Teens, but he shared also the Youth Impact 12 initiative, which was launched in, I think, January or February, and outlined the various areas that we would be highlighting young people in. And this week we're here with the first awardee, Miss Prasad. And so Miss Prasad is going to tell us a bit about herself. She's also going to tell us a bit about how she felt receiving the award and giving us some general information in relation to the award. If you're not familiar with the Youth Impact 12 Award, it focuses on highlighting young people who are doing positive things in different areas. So you have areas such as entrepreneurship, sports, culture, and so Ms. Prasad, as I said, was one of the first recipients, and her area of focus is agriculture. Ms. Prasad appears to be very, very young, and she's a female, of course, and so it's always heartwarming to see young females involved in agriculture. And so we learn a bit more about her, and as I said, a bit about how she feels after being awarded this very prestigious, and I highlighted through this very prestigious award. So Ms. Prasad, tell us a bit about yourself.
Good morning. My name is Ravina Tamar Prasad. I'm 18 years old. I was born in Nevis. I graduated from the Juniorland High School in 2017 with 7 CXC subjects, including maths and English. I studied at the CFBC College in 1 year and put my studies on hold and started full-time farming last year with my father,
Okay.
which is located in Brown Hill.
Okay. So I like a lot. I'm going to tell a lot of things that I like about your background. Of course, we know that you would have stated that you were born here in Nevis, so you are in Division. You would have completed. You went to which primary school?
Joyce and Library.
Joyce Library Primary School, and then you went on to Gingerland Secondary School. You were able to attain 7 subject passes. So you're qualified to work any and everywhere, right? Including math and English, which, again, is a great feat. So I'm repeating some of what she said so that people in the listening audience can understand that farming is a choice, and going into agriculture was a choice.
It is.
It is a choice. And so, was agricultural science one of those subjects that you did, one of the 7 that you have?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And so, we also want people to understand that there is no boundary when it comes to agriculture and farming. That even if you have 7 subjects, including math and English, you can decide to go into farming because it actually is a very lucrative and can be a very rewarding career. Okay? All right. So, how did you get involved in agriculture?
I grew up with farming. My father is a farmer for over 10 years.
Okay.
He started farming in Nevis. That's when he first started the career.
Okay.
So from being with him every afternoon after school, we go and help him in the farm. So it's just something that I pick up and I found interest in it.
Okay, so is it something that when you look at it, you said, or you looked at it initially, did you think it was something that was too difficult, or too much or too tiring?
At the time when I was younger, but then when I grow and I continue doing it, I saw the importance in it, and I just grow to love it. Even though it's hard work, you have to put forward, you have to move. It's something I love to do.
What are some of the crops that you have on your farm or that you've worked with over the last year?
We work with seasoned pepper, watermelon, and sugar cane.
Okay.
Right now we have over an acre of sugar cane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we recently planted like more than 10,000 watermelon right now, so recently. And we plant at least 10,000 seasoned peppers trees. So every week we harvest at least 300 pounds of seasoned pepper.
Wow. So what are some of the places that you would sell your seasoned pepper? Do you go directly to the Department of Agriculture, or do you go to some of the businesses, or do you go to St. Kitts?
We deal with the vendors that sells in the market
Okay.
or on the roadside.
Okay.
We also do lettuce. I forgot to. We do lettuce at our home,
Okay.
which we give to restaurants like Yatsman Grill. So, watermelon, it goes to different supermarkets. Seasoned pepper goes to different supermarkets.
Okay, wonderful. So you're seeing the benefits of doing it, and you're in love with, you're loving it still.
Yes, I still love it.
And even though it gets challenging sometimes.
I'm still going with it.
Okay, wonderful. And so you said that you've been involved in farming officially for a year. But can you remember when you started working alongside your dad? Do you remember when you started? How old you were about?
I was about 12, 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so after school at afternoons
Absolutely.
and on the weekends. Okay. So how far into the future do you see yourself being involved in agriculture?
Well, I see myself far because I plan. Oh, well, my father's getting old, so I plan. Me and my brothers, we plan to take over the business. So we're gonna be like the second generation, and then our children's gonna be the third generation, and continue it like a line of farmers.
Okay. And does your farm have a name?
Persad's Family Farm.
What is it?
Persad's Family Farm.
Oh, see, so it's already he already has his name, so you'll be carrying it from generation to
Yes.
generation. And so I'm thinking of that someday. How many brothers do you have?
I have at least 7 brothers.
Oh, you have sisters as well, or you're
I have a sister in Antigua,
Okay.
and she has a daughter.
Okay.
So
So yeah, but in terms of who works alongside in the
Uh,
farm, how many of you?
right now, it has me, my brother, and the young one, the 12-year-old, and a 17-year-old.
Okay. And your other brother is an adult as well?
He's 17.
Oh, but 17,
Yes.
12. So
And
just
8,
3 of you?
yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. And so you've been working alongside. I'm so pleased. I'm so impressed, Miss Persad. As I said, an 18-year-old female in farming, in agriculture, and seeing the importance of it, that should be commended and applauded. And so tell us why you think more young people can get involved in or interested in agriculture.
How I can.
How do you think? Why do you think other young people should get? Why do you think other young people should get involved in agriculture?
Because St. Kitts and Nevis youth, we are the future. We are younger. We are more. We have more education wise, as in different thing we can do. But St. Kitts and Nevis should be dependent. Doesn't have to bring in foods when we could export, or we could supply the whole of Nevis. There's so many different things that young people could do and make their own money. You don't have to work for anybody. We have to focus on entrepreneurship, right?
Entrepreneurship.
Well, does your own business there? You get less than 1,000 square feet. You plant lettuce, celery, and by every week you harvest, you make money. That is entrepreneurship, right? That you're making your own business there. So young people should do it. Like, it has so many things that these children could do right now at home. They could plant their own lettuce to eat. I'm sure athletes eat lettuce. They eat the tomatoes, cucumber. They have to stay healthy and fit. So that's why I think they should.
Get into it because there's so many benefits to it.
So many.
Okay. And so what do you think you can do outside of talking on the radio right now? Is there anything else that you can do to motivate young people to get involved in agriculture?
I could go into school and give motivation talks about agriculture, show them the benefits, the financial benefits. The farm is open for any student, adults, to see how it is on the farm, hand on the farm. So the farm is open. I'm open to answer any questions, help if needed.
Okay. So for all those persons listening, we have an 18-year-old who's willing to allow even your children to come and visit the farm and talk to them a bit about the importance of growing healthy growing vegetables to remain healthy. DeAndre, I think that we should visit Ravina's farm at some point, or the family farm, the Prasad family farm, so that we can also see what's happening over there. And of course, Melissa has to come on the train with us. Yes, she's on it. All right. And so what are some of the negative things that people say in relation to agriculture, young people especially?
They think it's a poor job, meaning that because you don't have education, farm is the only thing you can do, which is not true, because I have education. I could go work in an office. I could go to CFBC, study accounts, and get in a bank job, but I choose to do agriculture because I see the benefits. And then you have some that will see you farming in the sun and said that, that's hard work. Like, they're not able to go dig in the ground, but they don't see the benefits that come after.
But what is it that is not hard work? Anything that you do is hard work. You have to work at it. You have to prepare. You have to wait it out. Once you want to be legally and meaningfully employed, it will take a bit of energy and effort and a bit of work. So, but that is something that people often say, especially as you highlighted, that farming is something for people who are not educated. And that's a stereotype that I think that you are doing a great job of breaking that. You're highlighting the fact that you can be educated and be a farmer. And so that I like that message that you're saying. Before we continue with any more of the questions and getting to know a bit more about you, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the Powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go.
Hello, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page as well as Von Radio's YouTube channel. Welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I'm here this morning. I'm excited. I'm elated because we have Miss Prasad with us and we have DeAndre here with us. He's back after a long sojourn. And so he's going to give his input in terms of what we're talking about, even though he's a little bit under the weather. He's going to give us his input in a second, but it's the bottom of the hour, and we need to just take a pause for a cause. Melissa.
And that cause is to say good morning and happy Saturday to Lee Paris Cambridge over there in London, England. Good morning, Lee. Happy Saturday to you. And it's from all of us here at the Eastern Caribbean Spa House, from the Youth on the Go team, Zanella, DeAndre, and from yours truly, as well as the extended family, Vanny, and the entire country, the entire island. We want to say a special good morning to you, and we want to remind you that we continue the prayers, and we hope that you keep up the good work that you are doing in keeping yourself motivated, strong, and healthy, because we want to see you back here in Nevis. All right, so have a wonderful Saturday.
All right, and good morning, as Melissa said, from all of us, Lee. And I just went through my Facebook messages. I hardly ever check them, and I realized sometime back she had sent me a message saying hi. So I responded last night. So I'm just waiting for her response as well. And of course, she always makes sure to tell everybody that I said hello. And so I'm looking forward to getting her response. As soon as I do, I'll make sure that I make all of us aware of her whatever messages she would send. For me to share with all of the listening audience. DeAndre, you had a question or input before we continue with Ravina. You had an input just before the break. You wanted to share something in terms of agriculture?
Yeah, two things. From April, I think it's from April, I just don't one day I was just sitting there because it was during the Easter break and I had nothing to do at home. So I was like, okay, I have an idea. So I went outside, got some peas, some pot, and I put the peas in the pot. So I was asking my grandma how long do they take to bear some peas, and she said 4 to 6 months. And I'm like, I don't want to wait that long just to see some peas growing up. So I just left them there and I watered them every morning. And wait, no, it's from March. Yeah, before I left. So it's from March. Yeah, I keep watering them, and then I think it was about last week they start bearing peas.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't 4 to 6 months?
No.
Might have been weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And so maybe because we have Ravina here, she might be able to give you some advice as to what are some of the things, the fast-growing crops, the crops that don't take 4 to 6 months, that usually take about maybe 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and then you'll see them bearing something or growing. I don't know if you know of any of the fast-growing crops, Ravina, that you could share with DeAndre, and of course the other children and students out there who might be interested in growing something in a pot to start off with.
Well, we have lettuce that takes 6 weeks. Celery, 6 weeks.
Oh, you grow celery?
No.
Okay.
We used to at the time, but because we sow into the farm, we don't really have time for celery.
Okay.
So it has herbs, shallot, and different kind of small crops, seasoning.
Seasoned peppers.
Yeah.
About how long does seasoned peppers take?
I think about 3 months.
Oh, so they take a little longer.
Maybe a little longer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But once the seasoned peppers start growing, how many times do they you get peppers off of one tree before you have to pull them up?
Well, you get them for a whole year round. Once you look after them, once you weed them, once you fertilize, once you water them, they're supposed to last a whole year round before you pull them.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay, that makes sense. So that's why you can consistently get about. And so maybe most of those seasoned peppers that we're seeing in a lot of the supermarkets might be coming from your farm. Or from some of the vendors, like you said.
Yes.
That's interesting. I'm impressed. Now I'm going to eat with pride. All right. And the second one thing down there.
It's like I water them. They have air. They have some, but some of them are still dying. I don't know if it's too much water because I don't like, it will rain, but I still don't trust myself not putting in water, so I'm like, I'll just put it in that little
You're drowning
2 cent
the
of water.
plants, DeAndre? You might be.
Yeah, I thought so, because like I put like, when I put in the water, this is the dirt and the water goes like till there. Till there.
So you might be putting in too much water.
I think so, because I go to school for a whole day and I'm like, no one's gonna water it. So I'm just
No,
gonna, like,
no,
put
you
in
don't have to water
extra.
them so much.
No, because they have to grow within the environment. If it's a harsh environment, they're supposed to grow and work with that environment.
But when you're putting in too much water, you might be drowning them. You might be causing the roots to...
Water soak.
Yeah. You don't want to waterlog the plants. And sometimes, I don't know how big your pot is, because sometimes...
It's like
The
a
roots
normal
need to
pot.
stretch.
Yeah, sometimes the roots need to stretch. I'm not an agricultural expert, but sometimes you need space. They need space to grow, and depending on how
there's
many
6
plants,
of them in there.
yeah, it might be too many in the space. So if it's going to be survival of the fittest. That just means the ones that can hold on longest will live, and those which can't will not die.
Yeah, because I learned that like plants have their little fights over water. So it's like
They have
if
fights
you,
over
if you
living
put
things.
water there, that one is gonna try to kill that one to get its water. So it's like
The
don't fight,
nutrients
please.
in the
No.
soil. And I guess Ravina talked about fertilizers. Some kind of if the soil is not nutrient rich, and there are so many of them in there, the possibility
Exactly.
exists that
They die down, yeah.
some will die because somebody has to get the nutrients. Okay.
But I feel big, it just came out like that. I got my scissors, I cut that off, and I opened it. I'm like, oh my
You
god!
cut the
look at me.
peas off?
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
ready?
Yeah, there were some big ones, like those that they're ripe. They get a kind of they're not green, but they're greenish. They have a different color to it, but they're like some big ones. So just like I thought they were ready, so I cut them out.
But they
and-
weren't ready.
Yeah, they were ready.
So you cooked
Yeah.
them.
No, I
So-
plant them. Yeah.
You planted them.
Yeah, but they start growing, and I said that was fast. I did it like on Wednesday, and then came back. The sprout thing
Yes,
that comes
yeah.
up and goes around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that of it. I'm like, well, that was quick.
Okay. So you're starting your own pea farm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. Well, all the best in that venture. I can't wait to get for you to get enough so I can cook some.
Yes.
All right, Avina, we're gonna find out some more about you in terms of the actual award and recognition for the Youth Impact 12. How do you feel about first of all, being nominated, even before being selected? I'm not sure if you know who nominated you.
I do.
Okay. How do you feel about being nominated, and then how did you feel about being selected?
I was nervous because I didn't know if I would have gotten it. So I was like, Mommy, you think I'm gonna get it? Or Daddy, you think I get it? I was like, Tamara, stop harass yourself about it. That you work hard, you do things. So I feel extra special to know that someone nominated me.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, when I got the letter saying that I was accepted, I felt excited to see where this year takes me.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so, of course, you're the first of 12. And so 11 other young people are going to be nominated throughout the course of the year and selected to get that full Youth Impact 12 throughout
I'm
the
looking
year.
forward to meeting them.
I know it's going to be a wonderful experience. And so you are, as everybody who's listening might have gotten already, the awardee for the category of agricultural involvement during the month of May. I know that in the month of March, towards the end of March, we had the Agricultural Open Day. Were you in any way involved in or part of the Agricultural Open Day?
Yes,
Okay.
we had our own tent. We were selling cane juice at $5 per bottle. We had season peppers. Well, the melon we planted wasn't nice because the land is in a slope and we didn't realize we've set the drips wrong. So the plants didn't get enough water, so they didn't come out. But we did have some small melons. We sold them at $5, and
Okay.
they were sweet. They were nice, but they were a little bit small.
Yeah.
But some people like it because some people live by themselves
Yeah,
and
so
want
not
a
too
small.
much.
and
Yes.
It was great.
Okay. cane juice.
Cane.
So you know how to get the cane, the juice out of the cane? Do
We
you-
have a mill
Oh,
that
you do?
we set it up with our router. So basically, we just hook it up and the wheel will spin, and we would just cut it in half and push it through the mill.
So do you have to cut the greens part, the skin off of the cane, or do
We
you
no, we scrub it. When we go out, we pick it the night before. We scrub it with pot scrubbers. We put it in water, wash out all the dirt, and then we pack them in coolers for the next day.
with ice?
No,
Oh.
because it we
It's
pick the
sweet.
night before.
Yeah, they wouldn't need.
They wouldn't spoil.
So may I ask you a question? I've seen a lady in town. Do you supply her with cane for her cane juice, or is it somebody in your
That's
family?
my mother.
Oh, okay. I always I kept wondering, where does she get cane every day? Because I don't know of any extensive cane farms. So I always wonder, well, where does she get sugar cane every day to do the cane juice? So that's a different aspect of your business.
Yes.
Yeah, and that wasn't something that's traditional per se, and most people don't do it. But it's actually, I think that, and tourists probably.
They love it. They
it.
love it because I would be selling sometimes when my mother ain't able, and they would say, "Oh, that's bamboo." I was like, "No, it's sugar cane, and it's located in Brown Hill, over an acre." So, and Daddy planted in stages. So, like when we cut from the top set, the second set ready, the third set ready. So each year we keep on.
So you know how to cut cane.
I do.
So you have cut cane.
I do.
Oh
You
my.
have to wear a long sleeve, your hats, long boots, water boots, because the cane cuts. Like they give you some nasty cuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like you have to take your time, but you have to know how to do it. So
Okay.
The cane cuts you.
it
The is it the grass or the actual,
leaves,
The yeah.
leaves, they have like tiny razors.
Oh, never knew that.
No, we didn't know that. Oh,
So now I
okay.
have to be extra careful.
But-
Once you can like a movie. Oh, you can't get it.
No, you can't grab it. But Ravina, I want to also add that a couple of years ago, well, over a period of a few years, I would have met many young entrepreneurs throughout the Caribbean region in agriculture. And one of the things that I've observed with them is that they always find a unique market to create in terms of the entrepreneurship thrust. So I met one young lady who created, for example, an online store selling her her crops online. She created an online market. People could go online and select what they wanted, 2 bags of seasoned pepper, whatever she had available at her farm at that time. And then she ended up making it a big convenience store that sold other things outside of her. But she still was able to get her produce sold online, bagged. So when they come, all they had to do is collect. And I've seen, as I said, I've seen people doing different things, using their creativity, using technology, having apps. Because like you said, you're educated. And so whereas sometimes for some persons it's just the farming, which is fine. The farming alone is fine. For some persons, you can take it to another level and add other components, such as the sugarcane juice. That's adding a component that's not just farming and harvesting, but it's farming, harvesting, and producing. And so maybe you can look into exporting the sugarcane juice, and how do you make sure you get it properly sealed and quality control, or what products you can make from the sugarcane juice or sugar canes that can be exported. Like you said, we should be able to be, and if the Prasad family farm continues to grow, you should be able to, along with other farmers on the island, produce and export to regions, to St. Kitts, and of course over our neighboring islands, and perhaps even internationally. So I don't know, but we have the agro-processing unit at the Department of Agriculture, and they have workshops from time to time. That would be something good for you to get involved in, just to see how creative. Never, ever give up. Never limit yourself to just, okay, it's just this, and it can't be any more than this. As you continue to add persons onto your team, as your brothers continue to get older and you can increase, your output. Think about, all of you collectively can continue to think about how can we make this into something bigger and better that would help us to get more income.
You have just turned from my host to a great advisor.
Oh my, that's why I wear so many hats, DeAndre. That was good advice, you think?
Yes.
Yes. And DeAndre, as he continues with his pea farming, he might expand, or he might decide to add more things, and maybe you can get some advice from Ravina.
Yeah, my mom says when she fends her yard, she's gonna make this farm. And says, "Well, Mom, I'm gonna have just give me a little piece of that farm,
Yeah.
just for myself, and plant some things."
Yeah, it is. When I was young, we had my mom did tomatoes and peppers and lettuce, and she still does a little bit of season, just enough for the house, and then some herbs, just enough for the house. But when I was younger, we had to. In fact, my grandparents were farmers. I don't know them because they passed before I was, old enough to even know them. But they were farmers. And so my family was part of that movement, like many families in Nevis. And that's the thing. At the core of who we are in Nevis is farming and agriculture. And that's what kept us sustained. And that's what helped to build the island and bring it to the place where it is now. And I think that sometimes people forget and overlook that. They look at it as a menial job, I think because it's part of our history. It's something that our grandparents who did not have money did. Mm-hmm. But it was the fact that they did it why we were able to get some of the things we had today. They had to farm, but while they farmed, they taught their children to farm as well. And they were able to buy homes, they were able to buy, and as time went along, they were able to become more educated. But with education, like Ravina was trying to say, with education, people often think that they no longer need agriculture. But we don't realize that the two work hand in hand. And so the farming is actually what got us to where we are today. And so imagine if we got more young people on board, more students on board to further grow. We will get to even more economically viable. We will get more financial returns. We will continue to grow. So yeah, our forefathers brought us to here. And if we focused a bit on agriculture again, but modernizing it, we'll be able to get much more money in, and balancing between agriculture and tourism, there is no stopping us. But because we look at agriculture as something that's too much work or too hard, or that is one of the things that's keeping us behind, because it's not something that's menial, it's not something that's dirty, it's something that the federation has been built upon. St. Kitts was built on sugarcane.
Yes.
And coconut.
We had sugarcane,
mills,
the factory, everything. Sugarcane was.
Yeah.
So agriculture is at the core of who we are as a country and as a people. And so I'm happy that Ravina is the first awardee for the Youth Impact Award, and I'm happy that it's in agriculture.
Yeah, because like Ravina said, some people would say, "Oh no, he's over there farming. It's poor and poor job." But I don't think farming is a poor job to me. I think it's fun because you plant something and then you have something to wake up to in the morning, and then it's like it gives you responsibility to say, okay, I have to go and water my plants, check on them, make sure that they have enough water for this day, and it's like, okay, I can go to sleep now, just make sure that my plant's gonna grow tomorrow, so I'm gonna go outside and look at them. Because I don't know why I do this, because I plant something, and where the seed is, I'm just gonna go dig it up next year.
Don't dig it, that's why they're dying, DeAndre.
I just want to see if it's growing, and if it's growing, I'm like, oh my god, it's growing. So just cover it back and start watering it. And
do not listen to DeAndre's advice, people. You can't dig up the seed.
No, I don't dig it up. I just move the dirt where it is.
Don't move the dirt.
And then I'm like, okay, it's growing, and I put it back, and I'm like, I have something to wake up to tomorrow.
That's an interesting perspective, though.
It's fun for me.
It's fun. And
It's fun.
I wonder how many children can get on board. Ravina, maybe you can work with DeAndre and see if you can get some young people on board, some students on board to My Little Farm. You grow, you have a little spot, maybe this big, in the back of your yard, and you plant 2 plants, just 2 seeds, and you watch your 2 seeds grow, and then you have to take care of them. You have to make sure they bear fruit.
And you like have this responsibility. You
Yes.
have to water it. Don't forget.
Yes, and it helps with responsibility. Y'all know about my tablet peeve. I don't believe that children should be watching tablets all day. And so if they have that responsibility and their reason to grow up, to get up in the morning, or they know they have to do it before the end of the day, because that's their responsibility. I think that would be a good start. Okay, Ravina, before we want DeAndre, I know we're having an exciting time talking about farming, which is good, but we want to commend you once again and congratulate you. We want to also commend the Department of Youth for launching the Youth Impact 12, for ensuring that it was followed through, for selecting such a strong candidate and an admirable young lady as part of the Youth Impact 12, and being the lead or first person to be selected. I know that you're quite honored. You would not have been able to do it by yourself. And so I know that there are some people that you want to say good morning to and thank you. Might be ranging from the start to now, but I'll give you a chance to just say good morning to some people and those persons, and say thank you as well.
Well, I'd like to say thank you to my father, both of my mother, Suma and Vivi. I would like to say thank you to Rommel, Vishal, and Anthony for supporting me all the way. I'd like to thank Mr. Banky and Miss Marilla for nominating me and being my reference. And I want to shout out to my Clay Gut boys and the Laos squad.
All right, so those are your supporting cast. And of course, I would also like to give you the chance to say thank you to the department.
Oh, yes,
as
I
well.
forgot.
That's okay.
Thank you for the youth department for nominating me, for selecting me, for taking your time and working with me. Hopefully we have a good year together.
Okay, and in addition to that, I'm going to challenge you and also send a pitch out to the Department of Youth that maybe we can continue to do some of those things that you said that you could do to highlight the importance of agriculture among our students, among our young people, so that they can get involved as well. Some of our schools have greenhouses and shade houses, and students have the opportunity to get involved in agriculture, and so we want to see how we can get that translated from just at the school, the greenhouse at the school, to doing it at home, and seeing how many children can see agriculture as fun. With hard work, but and then a lucrative occupation for the future. All right. So thank you very much for that. I just wanted to give some, before we wrap up and before we close out, we have some notices and announcements. Once again, this week we continue the applications for the prospective teachers course. It is very important that if anybody's interested in teaching, that they apply, because we want to make sure that you get into your name, that you get into the prospective teachers workshop. And so the first step is, of course, applying, and the forms can be collected at the Department of Education, Marion Heights. Just stop by, and one of the ladies will be able to give you a form so that you can apply. You will have to have your references, you'll have to have your testimonials, and so you want to make sure that you go early, because you know, in interacting with people, you need to get, they would need time to write what they know about you. And because they need that time, you want to go early enough. You don't want to go in the last week of May, because the deadline is the 31st. You don't want to go in the last week of May, and then you lose out because the person has too much to do, they have a lot going on, and they won't be able to assist you in any way. So please make sure that you get on board now, and that you do your best to get in on the teaching action this year, the 2019-2020 academic year, promises to be one that is rewarding, and we are hoping that we will be able to get the best of the best of the best into the teaching profession coming this school year. We have some exceptional examples of teachers in the classroom, and we want those persons who have been inspired, those persons who are willing to make a contribution towards shaping the future of our students, to get involved and get signed up, because it is very important that we continue to keep our students meaningfully engaged, and that we prepare you as persons who are interested to become great teachers as well. We also have the Spelling Bee coming up. For those of you who save the date, the Department of Education's annual Spelling Bee will be on May 16th at 9 a.m. for primary school students and at 1 p.m. for secondary school students. May 16th, 9 a.m. primary school students and 1 p.m. secondary school students. And then on May 21st, we have the Junior Tourism the Tourism Youth Congress, in which they select the Junior Minister of Tourism. That's for secondary schools. On May 21st, the Tourism Youth Congress, and so please make it a date. I'm telling you to say the dates on your calendars so that you can come on down to NEPAC for those events to support our students. As well as the 25th of May, we will have the Family Book Feud, and each year we hear a bit about the Family Book Feud and the area of focus, and Miss Londa Brown usually stops by Youth on the Go, and sometimes we have some of the participants, the competitors in studio as well, who are ready and willing to share with us and encourage all of you to become involved and to support in the Family Book Feud. It is a great opportunity for parents and children to work together and to learn from each other. So we have those major activities coming up in the next few weeks. And of course we have at the school level, like I said, CXC exams start on Monday. So we wish all the students who will be writing exams come Monday and throughout the course of the next month and a half, we wish you the very best. We ask you to continue to focus, to study, try your best to put the electronics down and focus on what you're doing. Even if you have the electronics in hand, they should be for supporting your learning process and not for social media time or for WhatsApp time and that kind of thing. But we want you to just focus in, because you need to give your best and do your best. And be like Ravina, at the end of the day, you have the number of subjects and you have the choice. We don't want your choice to be taken away from you and that you end up doing something you don't want to do because you don't have the subjects. Do your best. Give your best, and then you'll be able to have the choice. Whatever your choice may be, at the end of the day, you have the subjects that will match that choice, and you're free and not confined to doing things that are against what you want to do, which make you unhappy. And so work hard, do your best, and just know and remember and recall all that your teachers have instilled in you over the last few years, and you will do just fine. We will join you again next week with another edition of Youth on the Go. Ravina, we wish you the very best in all of your endeavors, and congratulations once again. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Yes. Let them lead the way. Show